Greg Hargrove. I will be your moderator for today's session. And we'll start things off, as always, by our 15-minute meditation. And for that, I'd like to introduce Susan Wilkinson, our practitioner of the day.
Thank you, Greg. So we'll begin by breathing in the wonderful, foggy, brilliant air that we have today. And letting it out, clearing our minds, our hearts, our lives. Ah. Hmm. Reaching up, bringing our emotional body into our physical body, just like this. Yes. Find your emotional body. Susan, do it. Go ahead, do it. And bring it down. Breathing in to our heart. And then give yourself a hug. Move your arms. Like this. And breathe in. Knowing that the breath of God is your breath. The life of God is your life. The body of God is your life. To give ourselves the opportunity to move in space to that inner world. Perhaps it's right in your heart or other place. And bless all of your chakras. The crown chakra, the third eye that gives the vision of the world. The throat chakra that gives you the ability to say your truth. The heart chakra, where you can feel and be your authentic self. The solar plexus, where you can feel your energy. From moving the top of your spine down deep into ground yourself in the space of life. To appear from underneath your feet. And then inside you. It is now grounded into the center of the earth. We know that God is all there is, and we are one with God as we experience love and life and power of God today. And celebrate the Christ consciousness, the light within. The light is within each person, each place, and each time. It is the light of the being. centering in pelvis. Moving deep inside, moving deep. And we can listen to the words by H.B. Jeffries. By the light we shall be prospered, and by our steadfastness to the light we shall lift others out of their fear of lack and deprivation and loss. We shall know that there is no such thing as failure, for we shall be living with the bread of life, partaking of the divine substance and awaking others to the abundance that is provided for the children of light. Ask yourself the question, how shall I be my very best today? Who shall I light a candle for? Where shall I give my love? to the message of the divine as we make our way back into our body and space and time, bringing the wisdom with us, bringing the understanding and the gratitude, knowing that God is all there is, wherever we are. God is there, called or not. And we are one with all of God. That is always the message of meditation. Take a couple breaths and move your body in space and come back to this time. Grateful to be here, to celebrate the light. This ends the meditation.
Thank you, Susan. That was lovely. And now it's time for our first song. We'll be having plenty of music, but the first one today is Silent Night, performed by Deb Santa Maria and Cozy. And if you're here in the room, feel free to sing along. And if you're watching virtually, feel free to sing along on mute. Thank you.
That's just our heartbeat. On that note,
lowly infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly
I think we were fairly well in tune for that. Good morning and welcome again to the Center for Spiritual Living, Peninsula. We welcome everyone here, and including our viewers. Do we have some people attending virtually, Joe?
No.
Not yet, okay, that's fine. I'm sure wherever they're doing is exactly where they need to be and what they need to be doing right now, just like for us being here. It matters, as you all know, not what spiritual path you may have or what communities or culture you belong to. Everyone is welcome here. Again, I'm Greg Hargrove. I'm your Leadership Council member and moderator for today's session. It is our intention that you be inspired by the music, transformed by the message, and celebrated by this community. You are here by divine appointment, and so I invite everyone to change their entire life. But what is it that we do to change our entire lives?
Change your mind.
We change our minds. Exactly. First the thought, and then the manifestation. Yes, the study of life, the nature of the laws of thought. The idea that we live in a spiritual universe, and that infinite spirit is through, in, through, and around each and every one of us at all times. And it's the loving source of all good. Most importantly, every person is significant and needed. Our doors are open to all. So, welcome home. Please join with me in claiming our mission statement. We can do it. I think we all have it memorized. Our mission is transformation through spiritual practice, education, service, empowerment, and by living inspired lives. That last one is very important because when we live inspired lives, other people see that and they think, I think I'd like to have some of that too.
Amen.
Yes. Joining me in service today, who we already heard from and we'll be hearing from quite a bit more, our practitioner of the day, Susan Wilkinson.
Yay!
Recorded music is going to, we've already heard Deb Santa Maria and Cozy. We're also going to be hearing from Tom Lick and the Mile High Choir, which is fantastic. And of course, Karen Drucker and Eli Rivera. The tech host, as usual, is Joe Beckner.
Hey, Joe.
And I see I'm getting a co-billing on that one too.
Greg the owl.
I come in and help set up the owl thing.
Greg the owl.
Yes.
And we have an audio guy.
And we have an audio guy. And so, well, Joe knows how to do all of it. If I weren't here, this would still be set up like this. Is there anyone, I guess no one's joining us for the first time.
Yes.
All right.
Sheila.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking online. I forgot to look across the room. Most important of all. Would you like to say something, Reverend Allen?
My beloved of 25 years, she's actually been to one of our Christmas services when we were in the old place.
Oh,
So it's
I didn't know
actually her
that.
second time coming, all this time.
What? Hiding her.
Well, I hope you'll join us more often. To keep informed of all of our services and events, please sign up for our weekly newsletter. All you have to do, if you're online, is put your name in the chat. And let's focus on the rest of our service today. And welcome, everyone. We're so happy to have you here.
Music
Two.
Yes. 1 second. So, our second musical selection is The Heart of Christmas, sung by Tom Lick and the Mile High Choir. That's Denver, for those who may not know the Mile High City. Beautiful. How many have been to the Mile High Church? Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like Chase Center compared to most churches, isn't it? Hey, the last time I was there, I can't even remember how many practitioners they had. It was 50 or 70 or something like that. Their practitioner corps is bigger than a lot of churches' entire congregation. Anyway, yeah. It's now my pleasure to once again call on Susan, who is going to give us our affirmation and opening treatment.
So our affirmation today is, I swim in the flow of consciousness, sowing good wherever I go. Oh, what a nice affirmation. Let's do that one more time. I swim in the flow of consciousness, sowing good wherever I go. That's so good wherever you go today. So going deep into prayer, knowing that God is all there is, that God is love, abundance, vibrant health, highest consciousness. And we bring this highest consciousness today to this service. I, Susan, know that I am one with all of God, and I know today's service is filled with the light and love and abundance and health and wonders of God. And knowing this, we give all of this love to everyone who is listening, either now or later, knowing that we are filled with the Christ consciousness today, especially this week and this season. For every time we see lights, every time we hear bells, this is a reminder to go deep, to know the truth that we are one with the Christ consciousness that is always available to anyone who feels, who lives and breathes and moves into that consciousness. And knowing this, we know that we are one with it, all there is. We're one with God, and we give grateful thanks, letting anything that is unlike this move away. For we know that today is filled with the light of God, and so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Sue. You probably already know, but if you didn't, all things should all be telling you we're going to have a very special service today. And it's now my pleasure to introduce our very own Reverend Ellen.
Thanks for being here. Before I got here last night, I said, I wonder how many new people are going to show up. And the member that came to me was one or two. So we got Sheila. And Susan, well, actually, Susan usually is online, but she showed up too. So it's two people
So
that
you're
usually
correct.
don't come. I'm glad they're here. For the past 6 months, the days have been getting shorter, and the darkness has grown the past 6 months. But the winter solstice happened yesterday at 1:20 a.m. So most of that day started the return of the light. Today is actually the first full day, 24 hours, of the return of the light. From here until summer solstice, the days will be getting longer, the days will be getting brighter, the days will be getting warmer. And the sun returns life to everything in nature. The subject of today is the incredible light of being is the subject of today. And it's a subject about celebrating the light of spirit. It's always within us. It's always within us. And we couldn't be here without the light of spirit, because that's what makes us come alive. This month is a celebration of light in many hemispheres, but especially in the northern hemisphere. And there's several that we celebrate here, but there's many more going on throughout the world that we don't know about that are also celebrations of the light. On December 8th, there's the Bodhi, which is the enlightenment of Buddha. On the 21st of December, there's the Wiccan holiday of Yule that basically celebrates the shortest day of the year. That would have been yesterday. On the 25th of December, I need not say anything about it, but that's Christmas. That's the Christian holiday. And it represents the light of the world. One day later, on the 26th, there's two things that happen. There's Hanukkah, and there's also Kwanzaa. They both start on the 26th of December. And there's a 4-week celebration of the Advent, season of Advent, which uses candles to bring in the light and spread the light. And they have 5 different weeks where they do that. One of the days is Christmas itself, but the other days are the days that precede Christmas. Now, light has embodied the spirit and the divine nature ever since the beginning, as far back as we can go. Light has been recognized as being able to do that. One of our founding fathers, Thomas Ford, calls it the greatest aspect and the main aspect of God, the ability to use and see all the possibilities that exist with clarity. Ernest Holmes comes along and tells us that light has the power to overcome darkness. We kind of know that. Light has the power to overcome darkness. Not by being, not only, what it does is not by combating the darkness, but by simply being what it is. And what it is light. That's what does it. Simply light. As we recognize the ever-presence of light within us and let it shine, light becomes brighter and brighter and brighter and lightens up the lives of those around us and other people. The inner light shines brighter when we ask, when we seek, and when we find answers to a couple of key questions, really the same question asked a couple different ways. What are those questions that brightens the light? When we keep asking for insight into it. One is, what do I really want in life? What do I really want? When we get the answer to that question and stick with it, our light brightens, gets brighter and brighter. People around us begin to celebrate it. Also, we can ask that question a different way, and that is, what makes me come alive? That's the same kind of question. What is it? It's not doing what other people say we should do, or other things we think we should do. It's what makes us come alive. That's the thing. That's what the world needs. The world needs people to come alive. Could be, for some people, it doesn't have to be spirituality. It might be recognition. It might be money. It might be having a great family. It could be any number of things. But once you answer that question, what makes me come alive? What really brings joy to my heart that I stick with? And many people in our tradition, it would be doing God's will, following the law, so to speak. It doesn't have to be that way. Now, with a persistent focus and the use of affirmations, which we all know something about, the light shows up and the light shines within us. The answer to these questions is never what others say we should do, it's what we have come to discover what we should do. The answer aligns us with the light and expands us within us unlimited power. And actually the whole universe comes to assist us when we know what to do. It gets behind us and pushes us forward because we're answering the call of the light. So the universe assists us in that way. The answer to these questions brings heaven down to earth. Usually, often through rituals, but it just brings it forth once we know what we're all about and what it is that really makes us come alive. The universe supports us. We get to walk with 1 foot in the heavens and 1 foot on earth at all times. Through the Lord's Prayer, there's a section that says, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done." When we follow that, that's the same thing. It brings the light to us. In our tradition, we simply say, there's only one God, and that God is, I am one with that God, and once that's fully accepted, that brings on the light as well. So spiritual mind treatment is really a wonderful way of bringing on the light. It's a great affirmation to bring in the light. Now, I'm going to give a little backstory, a personal story of how the light has come to me. I had to look for it, but once it came, I've been holding on to it like a dog with a bone for 40-something years. And it started with me being raised as a Baptist, but after around age 18, 19, 20, it was too strict, and so I kind of put God on the back burner because of sex and being a young man, and said, I'm an agnostic now. And I stayed an agnostic for maybe 10 years or more. Then I discovered psychic readings and how to do psychic readings. And that brought me back to spirituality. And I stopped being an agnostic. I said, there's really something to this. And I signed up for a place called Pacific School of Religion. It turns out to be the oldest seminary west of the Mississippi, and went there for a few years, but it really was too much religion and not enough spirituality. But I met a guy named Howard Thurman, and that just turned on my lights. I said, this is what I want to do. So at that point, I really became serious about the spiritual journey, and that's when my spiritual journey started. Back in the mid-70s, late 70s. And I repeated one affirmation over and over and over. And that affirmation was, I want to be like God. I want to be like God. I pestered God, saying I want to be like God. And lo and behold, one of the results was a little book came along called The Impersonal Life. It's not a small book, tiny book. And it was written in the person of my higher self. And as I read that book, I said, what is this? Talking to my ego, my higher self talking to my ego. I thought it was fascinating. And toward the conclusion of that book, I had this dream. And this happened 45 years ago. It's an old story, but I've been holding on to it for the whole time. And in this dream, Jesus showed up at the foot of my bed, standing on a platform, looking down at me. I heard you. Are you ready to follow me as your true guide? It was one of those lucid dreams. It was clearly a dream, but I was conscious enough to know what was going on. And I said, no, I don't know about that. This is kind of spooky. And but he started to fade and disappear. I said, yeah, I'm ready. I want to do that. And it's as if in an instant, a little seed was planted in my brain. It was a seed of light, a tiny seed of light. And ever since then, that seed has been expanding more and more and more. I felt this shift in my consciousness that has never gone away, and as if I've been thinking a slightly different way all those years. Now I've become that way. And to this day, I embrace this affirmation. I want to be like God. And it's what has made me come alive and really get on the spiritual path and move into not so much religion, but into spirituality. And this is even before I discovered science of mind, which just put me more in the fast lane. Now, I want to share something that I did back then that hangs in my office. It's a painting I did. And it's a painting of my three heroes. Let me show you. One is Howard Thurman on the right-hand side. And he's the one that really introduced me to mysticism. The person in the center is Carl Jung. He was the person who kind of had introduced me to spiritual psychology. And then there's Einstein on the left side. And he was the one that really my first degree was in mathematics. And he's the guy I followed for a long, long time. But I put those three together, psychology, mathematics, or science, and mysticism. And these guys, this painting I painted that in 1979. So it's an old painting, but I used to paint more. I don't hardly do it now. I got better things to do, it seems. But I thought I'd bring that to show you, because these are people who found the light. They found what really made them come alive. They answered the question, what do I really want to do? And when they answered that question, they held on to it like a doggy with a bone, and we all know something about these great spirits. But this is something that I, at the time, wanted to paint and honor them in my own way. So I showed that to you. I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it. It's not an art exhibit, but this is something I did back then.
So cool. We can hang it up. I like Howard. It's really good.
Yeah, that's Howard Thurman.
Wow. I didn't know you had that talent.
And you painted this.
I painted that 1979.
Really nice.
Most of the things I painted were butterflies and birds. That's what it's
Wonderful.
People are hungry.
In the beginning, in my sincere spiritual journey, I repeated again, I say that affirmation, I want to be like God. Now, since prehistoric times, finding and celebrating the light has been one of the things humans have done, certainly in the darkest of times, and they've been doing that since prehistoric times. Not the light out there, but the light within. When the psalmists talk about walking in the valley of the shadow of death, the key word with that expression is walk. If you keep walking, you're going to enter the light. You're going to move from spring all the way to winter and over again. If we keep walking in our journey, we're always going to come back to the light, just as spring follows winter. The Taoists, in their philosophy, talk about the darkness as being yin, and the energy of light is yang. And it takes both of those to create the world. Not only to create our world, but to create the whole universe. It takes dark and light. You can't just have light, because then there would be no visibility. So we have darkness. We can't just have darkness, because there would be visibility and no light turned on. So we need both of those. And just as plants store light energy within them, there's an ever-present light within each of us. Like the earth, we all have times of darkness. Unfortunately, we have them, but it makes us grow when we learn something from it. No one escapes hard times. No one escapes down times. Even when times are unpleasant, times of joy and learning and creativity come to replace them at some point. Light is always there in the darkness, regardless of situations. When we sleep at night, we're still. And when we're still, God can have his way with us and present us with lots of dreams. And there's nothing we can do about it except ignore it or pay attention. And if we pay attention, we're going to wake up and become awake even though we're asleep. So the dreams awaken us to light, even though we go to sleep to have them. But stillness is really important. And that's a place where you don't have to try to be still, you are still. So you won't have a dream if you're busy and moving around. The light will always guide us through the darkest of winters if we remember it. If we don't remember it, it won't really have that effect. Now, as practicing mystics, all of us are practicing mystics at some level, else we wouldn't be in Science of Mind. That's what Science of Mind teaches. It's a practice of mysticism. We experience an increase in light that tends to expand our consciousness. The more we embrace this religion, the more we embrace this philosophy. Light is used in holy places, in temples, in churches, in synagogues, and throughout the world's spiritual traditions. There's a celebration of light and a recognition of light on some level. In the festival of Hanukkah, it honors light by rekindling of the sacred lamp within the temple following its desecration and the extinguishing of light by the invaders. The season of Advent uses 5 candles, one for each week prior to Christmas, and Christmas Day there is a candle. The celebration of Kwanzaa uses 7 candles to celebrate the African principles of the African heritage principles. Now it turns out that light was actually God's first creation, even before the planets, because in the 4th verse of Genesis, it says God put the sun and moon and stars in the sky as guidance, and the big light is considered the sun. But the sun is fire. It's really an external light. The first day of creation is God created light, separated the light from the darkness. That was the first thing in creation. Is the honoring of light, the finding of light. That's really an inner light. Even though it says in the beginning, God separated the light from the darkness, it's like it separated the light from the darkness within us. The light is within us all, but our darkness and being unconscious, when we're in darkness and being unconscious, we don't comprehend it. If you're really mad and angry at something, the last thing you want someone to do is come along with a spiritual message and say, this is what you should do. Because a lot of people, when they're angry, they want to be angry for that instant. Then they get over it. Then they come back to the light. When we're stuck in limited beliefs, and all of us get stuck there sometimes, limited beliefs and doubts, we dismiss the light of wisdom, but that intuitive wisdom comes through and it begins to shine, and it increases the power of light within us. The light within us is not created, actually. It comes with being born. It's already in us. The light is already in us. We may not recognize it, but even the worst people on the planet have light within them. It's a matter of turning it on and finding it. We're not called to create light. We're called to move out of our box, to move the obstacles that block the light from shining from within us. That's what we're called to do. We're called to let go of what's blocking the natural existence and flow of the light within us. We don't have to convince, fix, or struggle. All we have to do is one thing: just be. Just be. Now, the power of light is not the lights out there. The power of light is the light within us when we refer to it. Our only job is to remove the debris that tends to hide the light and let it in. And it turns out, no matter how dark our lives have been in the past, no matter how dark our life is right now, no matter how dark our life might be, the darkness cannot survive the light. It just can't. Once we turn on the lights, the darkness fades away. Emma Curtis Hopkins says, faith in God and the faith of God is the power that frees us to express the light within us. Holmes says, we're conscious of darkness only when we don't have faith. That's when we're conscious of darkness, when we don't have faith. Now, I'm going to close just this part of the service. We got some more stuff to go on. But I'm going to leave you with two questions that you can answer. They're personal questions, personal growth questions. One is, how can I share the light with others this season? What can I do to share the light with others this season? A. Question B, am I willing to honor the darkness and learn from the darkness? Am I willing to do that? Those are two questions. Now, here's a candlelighting service, as we have all these candles for us. We're going to move into now. Now, let me explain how it should work, and if you want to deviate from it a little bit, that's okay too. But basically, the candles that we're about to light represent a sacred ritual and calls for volunteer participation. So we have a lot of volunteers to participate, including me. And it's putting our full awareness on our unique talents represented by the 7 candles. Seeing these gifts in our lives and is a brighter idea, it also brings a brighter idea to our community and to other people. Each candle represents a certain spiritual quality. And we light the candles, we light the colors of the candles on the table before us so that everyone can see. Well, as soon as that color is called out, I'll light the candle, everybody can see that. And whoever lights the candle is going to read a script that represents that candle and invite the next person to read the candle. And all of us are invited to light a little tea candle. If one of these candles speaks to us, there's a little tea candle next to you, and every person should have at least 3 tea candles. You just turn on the button and let it shine for the rest of the service. If you don't have tea candles, there's a bunch of them on the table. Sheila's going to spread some more around, so everybody has at least 3 or 4 tea candles. And there's some here where no one's sitting. Richard didn't show up this morning, but he's sort of there invisibly. Okay, now I'm going to begin by lighting the Christ candle, the white candle. I'm going to light it after I read what it's all about first. Now, the candlelighting ritual is really our way of bringing heaven to earth. It's our way of bringing heaven to earth. And light is a symbol of heaven. Fire is a symbol of earth. So when we talk about fire, it's a symbol, but it's not really the light that we're talking about. It makes us warm and stuff, but the light within us is the light from heaven, and the light here is the light on earth. But this is our ritual to bring heaven to earth. In the first chapter of the book of John, there are 9 verses. The first 9 verses speak about this idea of the coming of the light into the world. I'm going to mention 5 of those 9 verses, and then I'm going to light the Christ candle, and then the service moves into the participation of all of us to use our tea candles and use these beeswax candles to get the show on the road. So in the first chapter of the book of John, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and without the Word, nothing, absolutely nothing was made that was made." And that was the Word of God. And that is true. You can't make anything without having words, without having a definition, without having some sense of what it is. If you don't know it doesn't get made. We have to have a plan. None of these chairs, none of this silverware would be made without, none of us would even be here without a word. Someone would have to agree to bring us into the world. So in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made by God, and without God, nothing was made. In Christ was life, and the life was the light of humankind. Christ was not the light, but he was sent to bear witness to the coming of light into the world. The true light that enlightens every person is coming into the world, has been coming into the world, and is coming into the world and expressing itself now. As I light the Christ candle to get us started. So the white light of Christ contains all the colors of the rainbow. Each color has a different wavelength. Red should be there. That's okay. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. RGB. Okay. Each color represents a different wavelength. Red is the shortest wave. Red is the longest wavelength, and all the way over here is violet, which is the shortest of the wavelengths. And together, when they're put together, they make white light. So I'm going to ask the reader of the red candle if they would start us off with a reading, and we can all listen to what she has to say. And I'll light the candle, and if you want to, if the colors speaks to you, turn on your tea candle, or you can turn on as many tea candles as you want. So, Elliot.
The red candle represents the gifts of strength and power. Red is a symbol of our thoughts and words that produce energy, endurance, and stability. Please light the red candle. The Christ gifts of strength and power are awakened in me now.
The orange candle represents the powers of joy and happiness. Orange is a symbol of inviting goodness into our life and radiating contentment. Please light the orange candle. I give thanks for the gifts of joy and happiness awakened in me now.
The yellow candle represents the powers of wisdom and understanding. Yellow is a symbol of inviting divine intuition into our life to give us wise and proper understanding to others. Please light the yellow candle. I affirm that the Christ gifts of wisdom and understanding are awakened in me and in all of us now.
The green candle represents the powers of peace and order. Green is a symbol of establishing new growth in our life and putting God first. Please light the green candle. The Christ gifts of peace and order are awakened in me now.
The blue candle represents the power of imagination and faith. Blue is a symbol of expanding our trust in God and seeing creative ways to do what is ours to do. Please light the blue candle. The Christ gifts of imagination and faith are awakened in me now.
The indigo candle represents the power of integrity and deep sincerity. Indigo is a symbol of inviting devotion, wisdom, justice, and impartiality into our life. Please light the indigo candle. The Christ gifts of faith and power are awakened in me now.
The violet candle represents the power of spirituality, purification, and gentleness. Violet is a symbol of the future, imagination, dreams, spiritual enlightenment, and calm emotions. Please light the violet candle. The Christ gifts of modesty and humility are awakened in me now.
Now that we've brought on the light, just take it in for a moment as I give a community treatment. Let's put your attention on that wonderful quiet place. Be silent for a moment, for God speaks to us best when we're silent. The whole world functions a little better when we're silent. Right here and right now is the presence of God. We have heard the song, "O Holy Night," sang over and over, this is a holy name. So it's a holy night. We turned on the lights and brought light into the space. And as we move into this service, a bit more song, a bit more conversation, I accept and know that the presence of God is not only within us, but it's all around us. As they say in Native American tradition, O Great Spirit, earth, sky, sun, and sea, you are inside and all around me. Dear Father, Mother God, is everywhere present. How sacred is thy nature, how comforting thy presence. We give thanks for this service. We give thanks for each individual that is here. We give thanks for the candles and the candlelight that reminds us of the light within us. Peace be still. Peace be with each of us. I accept that the spirit of the one is recognized within each of us and growing moment by moment as we simply put our attention on it. Remember its power. Allow ourselves to simply be the best that we can be. Allow ourselves to answer the question, what is it? What is it that makes me come alive? What do I really want? And whatever that is, the call is answered by the divine, And the whole powers of the universe come in to expand upon the answer to that question. What makes me come alive? So I accept and know that that seed is within each of us, and that seed is growing, recognized or unrecognized. Call or not call, God is right where we are. And with that, I simply allow these words to rest, knowing that the divine is everywhere present, and certainly present within each of us right now. With that, I say, Ashe, Amen. And you can join me by saying, and so it is.
What a wonderful service. The very first time I ever came to a church of religious science was a candlelighting service. So this always reminds me of the beginning of that journey. It's now time for Karen Brucker to entertain us with blessings to the world.
So now we will have our giving affirmation. I bless this gift with all my love. As I give, I embody prosperity and abundance. knowing I am fully supported by the universe. This is a symbol of my love and gratitude. It does great work in the world and returns to me easily, effortlessly, and often.
So this is our time of intentional giving. And of course, we always like to review the options for doing that. And they all work perfectly well for us. So of course, you can go directly to our website, cslpeninsula.org, and you can type donate, or if you just wait, it'll come up and you'll see a button on the screen. From your PayPal account, if you have one of those, very simply, you can send your contribution to cslpeninsula@gmail.com. Or if you like Zelle, I like to say the cool kids are using Zelle these days because it's instantaneous. It's the same address, cslpeninsula@gmail.com. And finally, for those of us who like to do things the traditional way, I won't say old-fashioned, that's judgmental. If you like to write out a check and put it in an envelope and address the envelope and put a stamp on it and walk to the corner mailbox, we'll be more than happy. And you can send that to P.O. Box 3243 in Berkeley, California. So if anything has been done or said or celebrated or performed in any way today which has you feeling blessed, please feel free to give.
A merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang our shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Have yourself
Shiva Herrera, I believe at the old center, is that correct? So now I would like to give an offering blessing for the offerings, as well as for the prayers. And I'll pass around a prayer basket. Divine presence, creator of all, in and through all, seen and unseen. As I am one with our Creator, so too is everyone here in this room and in the world. I know each gift given here today is blessed and given from the heart. I recognize these gifts do great work in the world. We know that as we give, we make a place for these gifts to return back to us manyfold. That is the law of circulation, the way things work. Each prayer offered and received in the ministry of prayer is already being answered in the mind of God. As our practitioners lift each submission in prayer over the next period of time, I know that the comfort, the joy, the peace, and the abundance is already manifesting. It is with deep gratitude and appreciation that I accept these gifts and prayers on behalf of the Center for Spiritual Living Peninsula, and with the same gratitude, I release my word into the law, knowing that it is done in the mind of God, and together we answer this prayer with, and so it is. To request a prayer, please send it to cslpeninsula@gmail.com. The prayer basket is around. Perhaps you have a prayer for someone in this world, someone that you know, or someone that you've heard about, or perhaps you have a worry about something. Maybe we would like to have peace on earth, goodwill to all men. It's also often just a simple prayer will help everyone. So bring those blessings on, bring those prayers on. Yay for prayers. Let's do it. More and more. Yahoo!
Before I talk about upcoming events, I just wanted to add just a little bit to Reverend Allen talked about the fact that the very first day, well, the first day of winter, December 21st, isn't it interesting that the very next day, the sun sets a minute later and rises a minute earlier. So the very next day after the solstice is the first day that starts to get longer, and he said they continue to get longer right up until June 21st. And what do you think happens the day after June 21st? They get shorter, exactly. Susan, that's exactly what happens. So isn't that a great example of both paradox and yin and yang? You know, a symbol that everything contains within itself the seeds of its opposite. So at the longest day of the year, we begin the slow journey into wintertime, and the shortest day of the year, we begin the journey toward summer. It's a nice mental image, and I'm not an astronomer, I'm not sure exactly why that is, but I love the fact that it is. All right, do we have some announcements, Joe? Okay, reviewing how to give. All right. Live in-person gathering on Sunday, January 12th, 2025. Can you believe it's almost 25? I'm still getting used to writing 24. Meditation at 9:45, service at 10. And guess where it's going to be? We're already here. Yeah.
We can stay.
We could just stay here and wait until January 12th. Wouldn't have to take the equipment down or anything. So anyway, we'll look forward to seeing you then. And meanwhile, I guess it's time to ask Reverend Allen to give us our closing benediction.
Certainly. Before I close this service with a benediction, let me ask us, I know there's one person here born in the month of December. Anyone else born in the month of December?
My sister.
And Susan is born on December 23rd, tomorrow. So she's part of this celebration of life as well. So I'd like us to sing happy birthday to Susan Rose. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Susan. Happy birthday to you.
How old are you now?
Too old.
So let's go within for a moment of silence. And it's easy to do by simply putting your attention on that wonderful quiet place. Know with me that the divine is with us. Take a moment to be still like a mountain. Even though mountains move, be still like a mountain. Or it's not much movement that we see in a lifetime. Be at ease like a feather on the wind. Know with me that this service is whole, perfect, and complete. And that there is peace on earth that begins with us. So just imagine that we are holding hands with the circle of light and bringing in peace on earth. I say thank you, Father, Mother, Spirit, for all that is to come, for the meal we're about to receive, for the service we just completed. Thank you for all things great and small. And I accept that whatever is needed by each of us, the call is being answered even before a word is spoken. For God knows what's in our hearts, knows what we're thinking even before we think it up. There's nothing new created in the universe. Absolutely nothing. But we can discover new stuff and bring it into manifestation. So once again, I say thank you for your participation. Thank you for the service. Thank you for everything. And you can join me by saying, and so it is.
So it is.
I'd also like to especially thank Reverend Allen who organized this whole thing. There was some help, but it was his idea. What are we going to do? Reverend Allen stepped up and said, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Allen. And Sheila with the candle.
Thank you, Sheila.
You can leave on the 2 candles.
You can leave them on?
Yeah, I didn't want the fire one, but leave the 2 candles on. That's cool.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, awesome. Really awesome. Thank you.
So, let me tell them to bring some menus in.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know how candles.
Sign-ups for
It's interesting how-
January, sign-ups.
It's interesting how we're all afraid of candles now.